three. Say 3, 2, 1. And now, please welcome Mayor Madeline Rogero.
Well, thank you. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Carl. Thank you for getting those silver streaks just perfect. I wanted those captured just the way they are. So thank you. You did a beautiful job, and I really truly appreciate it. You know, in the 8 years since we first met, when you unveiled your portrait for Mayor Brown, you know, here he was from Memphis, went to school at UT, so lived in Knoxville, member of Overcoming Believers Church, did the portrait for Mayor Brown. He's now in Dallas, building his business. So it's really wonderful to see how much you have evolved in those 8 years as well. Now he has a wife and 2 kids. Right there's his wife right there. So thank you so much, Carl, for doing this for me. I want to recognize my family who is here. You all know my husband, Gene, my daughter, Carmen, daughter, Joan Monaco, and then two of our grandkids. We have Jada, who is here, and Silas. Now, Silas is, so lots have changed in the last 8 years. We've gone from 4 grandkids to 8. So they age from almost 1 to almost 27. Silas is probably doubled in height, and he's got a lot more hair. He got a little buzz cut, if you remember, at my inauguration. But Jada's now a nurse at Children's Hospital, and all of our kids have. Joan has a landscape design company. Carmen is busy in her career with Bliss, and everyone is doing really well, and I'm just so grateful to them for their love and support throughout these 8 years. So I have so many people to thank. First, I want to thank, also, before I move on to that, I do want to thank Judith Foltz and Special Events. I said Judith worked with Carl, said come on in at 9 o'clock. This is when Carl could get in. We made final touches. All of that Special Events team does so well, Kendra and Elaine, as well as Judith. Also, Andrew, thank you so much for all the work that you have done. So I have so many people to thank for these past 8 years. First, my cabinet, Bill Lyons, David Brace, Avis Reed, Charles Swanson, Chief Eve Thomas, Chief Stan Sharp, Finance Director Jim York, and Eric Reeland in Communications. And of course, we had some others before them: Eddie Manis, Christy Branscombe, Angela Stark, Jesse Maysharp, Tank Strickland, and David Roush. That was all my cabinet over these past 8 years, and I am truly indebted to them. So many talented department heads, many of whom are here today, and senior leadership. And then those almost 1,600 employees who work every day to provide services and to work there on the front lines and in the streets and in the field to serve our residents. I've had outstanding city councils to work with. Of course, Finbarr's done a tremendous job as our vice mayor. Where's Dwayne Grieve? Thank you, Dwayne, as well. Nick Pavlis. So those are the 3 vice mayors that I've worked with, and Nick is out of town, or he said he would have been here. I want to particularly recognize the council members that are going out with me, that came in with me, and we're going out together, and that's Finbarr, George Wallace, Marshall Stair, and Mark Campton. They've all been a real joy to work with. And we have so many partners. You know, government, I always say government can just do a bit. You know, we can't do it all, so we depend on the other public agencies and the private sector and the nonprofit sector. I want to recognize our former mayors. You really do honor me by your presence today. Randy Tyree, Victor Ash, Dan Brown, and Governor Haslam. Appreciate you all being here. I appreciate all that each of you accomplished during your time as mayor to make Knoxville a better place. You know, I can't think of a better word, awesome, humbling to be here and to know that for the first time in our city's 228-year history, there will be a woman joining these distinguished men in this mayoral gallery. And as we said, I won't be the last woman to be here. So congratulations again, Mayor-elect Kincannon. I want to thank all of the men and women who helped me achieve this great honor and who helped me to do the best job that I could. You know, I was fortunate to move here to Knoxville 39 years ago after living in 13 different cities. Now it was 28 and I'd lived in 13 different cities. I did a lot of moving around and had some interesting work, and so some with my family and some as an adult. But we put down our roots here in Knoxville, and Knoxville has blessed my family in so many ways. I've had a varied and interesting 45-year professional career, from working with farm workers and women coal miners and various nonprofits on children or community development issues. Worked with TVA for a stint, county government and city government. And I like to point out that I'm pretty sure I am the only person who has ever worked with Cesar Chavez, Dolly Parton, Colin Powell, and Bill Haslam. Anybody else has got that? That's a pretty unique resume, you have to admit. But clearly the highlight of my career has been serving as mayor of this wonderful city. So as my term draws to a close in 11 days, my greatest feeling is really that of gratitude. Gratitude to all of you and to the voters of this city who entrusted me with this great responsibility and this really great opportunity over the past 2 terms. Together, we have worked to make Knoxville a better place than we found it 8 years ago. I really believe, and you can see it all around us, that Knoxville is on a forward and upward trajectory to becoming an even more economically robust city that is welcoming. As Jack said, our history is that of being welcoming, and I think that's a really important message. It's one that we talk a lot about today, that we are a welcoming community, that our focus is on equity and sustainability. So let's all get behind Mayor-elect Kincannon to continue to make that happen. Thank you all for being here and sharing with me on this very special day.